What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching another video. As you can see, I'm in my Volkswagen Rabbit right now, and today we're going to talk about why you should go out and buy a 2.5 liter 5-cylinder Volkswagen, and that pertains to anything from the Jetta to the Passat to the Rabbit to the Golf. Any 5-cylinder 2.5 liter Volkswagen engine, I'm going to tell you why you should buy one of these cars, and I'm going to give you 5 good reasons, and hopefully if you're on the fence, it'll push you over to get one of them. Guys, reason number one, and I'm going to show it right now, that you should buy one of these is this. Hopefully the mic can pick it up. Guys, these cars sound absolutely amazing. There are so many, I mean, again, I'll just... Number one, if you're a car enthusiast, is the sound. These exhausts on these 2.5 liters sound amazing. These cars sound amazing. It is so hard to make them sound bad. And there's such a different combination of exhausts, from cutting off mufflers, cutting off resonators, different catback options on the market, high flow cats, catalyst setups. There are so many different ways that you can make these cars sound good and sound different, but they all sound good. To make one of these sound bad, you have to really try to make them sound bad, and it's difficult. I would say 90+% of the time, if you hear one of these cars with an exhaust on, it doesn't matter if it's a Jetta, a Passat, a Rabbit, a Golf, they will sound good. And let me tell you, they sound great. I love getting on this car. Like, it screams and it sounds good, and that's what I love. It just sounds good, guys. Reason number one, these exhausts sound amazing. So reason number two, and honestly, I keep making this comparison even though they don't drive the same, but it's the same concept. And these cars are fun to drive. Now, yes, these cars are slow, but they are fun to drive. And I like to compare it to driving a Miata, because the one huge appeal about the Miata is that it's a slow car that you can drive to its limit and you're not gonna get in trouble. It's basically driving a slow car fast instead of driving a fast car slow. And this means that you can literally rip around these cars, take them to red line, and you're not gonna get in trouble. You can drive these cars to their limit. You're not gonna get in trouble. You're not gonna overdrive the car. Whereas you're getting into a 400, 500, 600 horsepower car where on most highways and most roads and everything, you're not gonna be able to use the potential of the car. And if you do, it's for a split second or two, and there's not much you could do. With these cars, I could drop a gear, I can literally step on it, I can make good sounds, I can rev the car out, I can shift, and I'm still not gonna get in trouble. And that's one of the best things about this platform, is that, yes, they're slow, but they're fun. And there's a lot of different things that you could do to these cars to make them even more fun, from like the exhaust, you can do suspension stuff, but I'm gonna save that for a later part of the video, because that's gonna be another one of the reasons why I think these cars are phenomenal to buy. Reason number three, guys, is reliability. These cars in the Volkswagen world are literally like our Toyota Corollas and Honda Civics. This 5-cylinder engine, it is extremely reliable, and we're gonna drop a gear and go. These cars are reliable, guys. They last forever. Join forums, join Facebook groups. There are so many people with hundreds of thousands of miles on these cars, and they just keep going. That's why I like to call them like the Honda Civic and the Toyota Corolla of our world. These cars are just stout. They don't need crazy maintenance. They last. There's a couple little failure points here and there, like the vacuum pump likes to leak, little things like that, but there are corrections for all of those things that you can do, and it'll make these cars last forever. Do regular oil changes like you're supposed to, regular spark plugs, change out your filters, and these cars are gonna last for years and years and years. That's why you see a lot of these older, like Mark 5, Mark 6s that are beat up, they still run. People beat the crap out of them and they still run amazing. So if you find them with higher miles, you really don't have to be like too scared. As long as it was maintained well, you could buy them with 150, 200, 250,000 miles. You can get them for cheap, and honestly, it'll probably last you a few years, probably problem-free. And this is my third or fourth 2.5 liter. My first one that I bought, which was the first car that I ever had, was a Mark 5 Jetta. I beat that car for 5 or 6 years. That car did not leave me stranded one time. Like, that car never broke down. It never needed anything besides like a battery. And anything else that broke on the car was stuff that I touched, that I modified, like being too low, cracking an oil pan, things like that. But that was my own fault, not the actual car breaking down. The car letting me down and breaking down, it never did it. And honestly, I'm not surprised, because these cars just have that reputation of just being super reliable. So that's reason number 3, guys. You want a reliable car, this is the car for you. This car just sounds so good, man. I just love the way this car sounds. But anyways, guys, reason number 4, and this is going to be one of the biggest things when it comes to getting a car, and is affordability. These cars are pretty affordable nowadays, whether you get a Mark 5 or a Mark 6. Not gonna lie, Mark 4s with the same mileage are going for a little more. And I know like the Mark 5 is like the ugly child of like the Volkswagen family. A lot of people don't like them. I like them. I'm biased because it was my first car, which is why I like them. But still, either way, I don't think they're a bad looking car. But one thing about them is they are affordable. And you can find Jettas, you can find even Beetles that have the 2.5. They're not that crazy expensive. You can find 130,000 mile Mark 5 Jetta for like $3,500. You get a car that's reliable, you get a car that sounds good, you get a car that's gonna last you. Like, it is such a good car to buy. If you're a parent and you're looking for a first car for a kid and they want to play around with it a little bit, maybe get a stick shift, it's a perfect beginner car to buy for them. It's a car that isn't that expensive to modify and you can have fun with. Like, this is such a good overall car to buy, and that goes for any kind of like Mark 5 or Mark 6. They are affordable, and in the realm of things being so expensive nowadays, having something that's affordable that can be fun is pretty hard to find. And I think these cars fit both of those like boxes like so well. It checks off everything that you need in a car. From if you're a parent or you're even a kid and you have a couple $1,000s to buy, you want a car that's going to be reliable, you want a car that's going to be fun to drive, and you're going to want a car that, if you are an enthusiast, sounds good when you put an exhaust on it, right? Those are some of the most important things when picking out a car if you're, you know, an 18, 19-year-old kid. This car will fit all of that, and you can afford it. So guys, if you're looking for an affordable car, this is where it's at, honestly. Like, nowadays, a couple $1,000s, and if you want a lower mileage one, you could probably get, I don't know, one that's 60, 70, 80,000 miles, maybe in the 7 to 8 grand range, which is not crazy. I got a really good deal for this car. This is like out of the ordinary, but I've seen most of them with 120 to like 140,000 miles, under $4,000, that are still in pretty good shape and they run great. So honestly, guys, number 4 absolutely is going to be affordability. And last but not least, guys, and this is obviously for myself, and this is more for the enthusiast person, is that there's such a good aftermarket support for these cars with so many different parts. These cars have been out for like a decade and a half, almost 2 decades now. The first Mark 5's coming out like at the end of 2005. Like, these cars are almost 20 years old now, believe it or not, which is crazy. And people have made so many different parts for them. These cars, you can get anything you want for them, honestly. Like, from exhaust systems to suspension to intakes to wheels and tires. Like, there's just so many different things that you could buy for these cars, and you can modify in any way possible. And the number one thing that's really important too is that the aftermarket parts are not that expensive on these cars. Like, for example, you could literally make the car sound good, get an intake, get suspension, wheels and tires, you could be done. You could do cosmetic stuff, taillight options, headlight options, different engine covers that you could put on these cars. Again, different suspensions, from springs, sway bars, to coilovers, bags. Like, there's just so many different things that you can do with these cars, and they're great and they last. And the direction that I'm trying to go in is that you could even boost these cars now. Yes, people have been doing it for years, but now there are companies actually making manifolds, like different intake manifolds, different exhaust turbo manifolds, turbos that run these setups, a lot of different tuners that are actually tuning these cars on a stock ECU with the turbo. Like, there's so many different directions that you could go with these cars. You can do an NA setup, which a lot of people do. Put a good suspension package all over the car, do a tune, nice exhaust, intake, and there's people that track them now. And because you could beat on these cars and they don't break, they make pretty good track toys for doing like autocross and things like that. You want to go and make 350 wheel horsepower to slap a turbo on it and do something like that, you can. A lot of people do, and it's a popular mod, and I'm gonna do it on this car, is a 6-speed swap. This is a 5-speed, people do a 6-speed swap. They last longer, they're stronger, and you can boost them and you're not gonna break them. You could get them from the Mark 6 GTIs, Mark 6 GLIs, even the Mark 5 ones work. I think even some Mark 4 transmissions work in these cars. So there's just so many different things that you could do with these guys. They're like little Lego pieces when it comes to like modifying these cars. And being that I'm a big enthusiast, I love Volkswagen, I love Audi, it's super important for me that I could buy a car and modify it in the way that I want, and it's not a problem finding aftermarket parts for the way I want my car to drive and the way I want my car to look. So finally guys, the fifth reason to why you should buy one of these cars, it's gonna be the aftermarket support for them. But anyways guys, I'm gonna conclude the video with finishing off my drive, and I've had a lot of people DM me YouTube comments saying like, oh, I've always loved like this kind of car, I've always loved this engine, but I don't know if I should go for it or not. Guys, go for it. It is such like a low risk, high reward kind of thing where these cars are just phenomenal in every aspect, and they're very affordable. And I'm gonna keep saying it guys, to get a car that you could play around with, have fun, it's affordable and reliable. It's hard to get a car that could do all of that stuff, and these cars just check all of those boxes off. If you're on the fence about buying one, buy one. Find a good one. And again guys, it doesn't matter, it's the same 5-cylinder engine. Get a Jetta, get a Passat, get a Beetle, get a Rabbit, get a Golf. They come all with a 5-cylinder engine. Like, they are good, they are good. Go out, buy one, and have fun. You're gonna enjoy it, you're gonna have a good time, and guess what, it's not gonna break the bank. And that's like the best thing about it guys. I can't stress enough, this is like my fourth one. I've had like my family members have had them too. Like, I've just grown up with these cars. Like, these were the first cars that I actually really did modify when I was 17 years old when I got my first one. Now I'm 30. Like, I've been playing with these cars for like half of my life now, and I've never had an issue with any of them. I don't know anybody that's had issues with them. If you have an issue with them, it's because you don't take care of them, and that's going to be any car. If you don't take care of it, they're not going to last. But, and I'm going to say it again, this is my Honda Civic, this is my Toyota Corolla, this is that for me and for us Volkswagen guys. So guys, go ahead and buy one. Have fun and do it. If you needed this video to push you over the edge to make that purchase, go do it. Buy an auto, buy a manual. All the autos, okay in these cars, I would say okay, like, but get a manual, just have fun. Do what you gotta do. If you break it, fix it. These cars aren't even that expensive to repair either way, and they're easy to work on, guys. It is like a win-win situation all across the board. But hopefully you did enjoy the video, and hopefully if you are on the fence about buying one of these cars, get into the platform, do it. But hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.